Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa and today I'm talking about something that I absolutely love, and that's Disney and memory keeping. Keeping those memories from our trips, recording memories, and I just basically wanted to give you some ideas of how to preserve those memories that you make. We save really long and hard to go on these big family trips. Now it doesn't have to be Disney, this can obviously be related to any family trip or any trip, that holiday that you take, but mine is obviously for Disney. This is how I keep my Disney memories. So today I have 14 ideas of how to record your memories when you go away and have amazing trips. So number one, I'm going to start with the most obvious and the basic and then move on from there. Number one is a traditional photo album. These go back to when we were kids, just a normal photo album where you just add your photos and that's it. They go in. This one we picked up was part of a Discovery Cove package a few years ago. You can pick up the traditional style photo albums in supermarkets, in Smith's, loads of those types of places, and they are just literally, you can slot your photos in and that's it. Now moving on from there slightly, you've got photo books. These are ones where you go online and you upload your photographs and you can create your own books. You can add wording inside. You can create your own collage. It's a really nice way to keep memories, and my husband made this for me a few years ago as a birthday gift. It's not just Disney, it's full of all different times and it's a really lovely book to keep. So that was number two. Now number three are photo frames. Again, another really easy and obvious one. We like to collect a new photo frame every time we go to Disney, because then not only does it have the memory inside it, the photograph, but you've also got the memory of when you bought the photo frame as well. We've been buying them for each trip and I've got a whole load. They're all lined up on the windowsill in the lounge. And they're just really fun to collect. We bought this one in Animal Kingdom when we had our first ever Disney stay. This one I picked up really cheap in the Disney outlets in Orlando. I think it was like $6. That's an Everest one and they're perfect for the ride photos. This was our most recent one that we bought. I bought this one in Epcot. We were staying at the beach club, so in walking distance. But keep your eyes out. I actually bought this one, this Splash Mountain. It's a ceramic one in our local charity shop. And it was just £1.50. And I absolutely love this. That was a really good find. Now, keeping in line with photographs, I'm now going to show you my gallery wall. And that's number 4, to create a gallery wall. So it's not just photographs, but you've got memorabilia included as well. So this is our gallery wall, and this one is just for Disney. And like I said, there's memorabilia. We bought a D-hook. We've got a hat that we've got a load of the characters in our last trip to sign. We also hang our magic bands on there. We've got collages. I picked up this in an antique shop and it went perfect of the photo with Holly there in Hollywood Studios. Obviously you've got to have the Disney gates as you drive through. Castle, and then we've also bought prints on Etsy. This one is just a clipboard with a large A4 photo framed. This one was our first ever trip when the kids were 5 and 7. We've also got pins on this one, a few pins, and the Lego figures which need reattaching. So gallery wall was number 4. Number 5 is to make a collage, a canvas collage. And that's what this one is here. I've simply bought a huge, great big plain canvas and I've printed off loads of photos and stuck them all down. I have painted in between just to make it look a little bit more arty. I've stuck on alphabets and stickers, and it's such a fun way to record a whole trip. And I've got another one here from our 2012 trip. I've never done one for our first trip though, so if you'd like to see me making one of these, please leave a comment below or give me a thumbs up so that I know, and I might actually do that on video. Number 6 is to make large framed pieces with your trip photos. I bought a large wooden frame from IKEA. I've removed the backing and the glass and replaced it with string at the back, and I've pegged loads and loads of little mini photos in tiny little chipboard frames onto like the washing line. And this was our 2014 trip. I've also got this one here that I created. This is a 12 by 12 frame, and again I've removed the glass and I've created a little piece of art there in the middle to frame. It just makes it a bit more interesting than a regular framed photo. So number 7, autograph books. I used to make the children when they were younger their own autograph books, and inside then we'd have the autographs when we met the characters. I'd also write a little bit at the front, the year, who we were traveling with, the date, and all that kind of thing, and used to get the kids then to document who they were most wanting to meet, the things that they were most looking forward to, the rides, the food, all that kind of thing. And then I would also let them draw in the books whilst they were there, so we'd have their little kind of like drawings and colourings, and then also pop some photos in afterwards. So that's a really nice way of keeping your memories. I'd really recommend doing that. Moving on to number 8, mini books. I absolutely love making mini books. I would say it's one of my favourite ways to keep memories from a trip. I made this one here for the 2012 trip. I actually made it before I went, so that when we came home all I needed to do was print off the photos and add a little bit of journaling. But what's great about these, you can also add bits of memorabilia. So this is the book, and it's just a chipboard cover that I've holed and added book rings and decorated. I've created pockets by just sticking card on the 3 sides so that you can then slot things in. I've got the old tickets. Seems a long time ago that we had tickets like that. And the pockets then you can also add photos, and I've added our itinerary, and then each day there's photos and journaling. I wanted to make it simple so that I could just literally slot in the photos. I didn't want to do loads of work when I got back from the trip. I've even added receipts, and it's just a really nice way to keep the memories from a trip. 2012, it just cost $14 to park your car. I think it's 20 something now, isn't it? Again, that's a really nice way of keeping things to look back and comparing. I'm really glad that I've done this for our trips. A little envelope there with more photos. I've also cut our Mickey's Not So Scary wristbands, and I've also kept the mark maps. I've also kept the park maps from that trip as well. So that I really recommend doing. I've also got a smaller one here, and this was just about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and I've literally just stuck a whole load of card together, creased the edges, and stuck in photos. Journaling has been kept to a minimum, but there's lots and lots of photos. Number 9, traditional 12 by 12 scrapbooking. I have so many scrapbooking albums. They are a really good way though to record your trip. I have absolutely loads of these, and they are so special. I've done them for every single trip of ours, and it's a 12 by 12 album, and I've just decorated the pages, told the stories, and used our photographs. I love that each trip is so well recorded. Conversations, special feelings, the lovely things that we've eaten. I'm really happy that I have these special albums to look back on. 12 by 12s aren't for everyone. They do take up a lot of space. If you love scrapbooking, they're ideal, but obviously it's not for everyone. Another alternative, number 10, is to scrapbook Project Lifestyle. If you haven't heard of Project Life, I will show you. You can also do it in a 12 by 12, but I really like the smaller 6 by 8. And the difference is, rather than having one great big pocket, you've got one pocket with lots of little spaces, which makes scrapbooking these kind of trips so much nicer. This isn't a Disney one, this is just as an example to show you. But you can mix in your photos with your journaling and add other nice bits and pieces as well. It's a really, really fun way to document. I do have a Disney one here that I still haven't used. I bought it for the last trip and it never got used, so I'm thinking this year I will need to use this. Number 11 is a traveler's notebook. This is still kind of keeping in with the scrapbooking style, but it's going smaller even still. This is a standard size. You can also get them smaller. You can buy them in various different places. They're called traveler's notebooks, and you've basically got the cover with your notebooks inside. My lovely friend Jenny made this one. I will leave the link below. She sells on Etsy and is called Stitch and Weave. This one is fabric, but you can also have them made in leather or faux leather, that type of thing. You've then got your notebook inside. And this notebook is actually a Disney one, but you can buy all different types. And it's the same concept as scrapbooking, like I said, but on a much smaller scale. Lots of space though. You add your photos and do your documenting. This is all from our previous trip. And again, it's just a really, really nice way to keep those memories, record conversations, and just the fun things that you've done. I'm really, really loving my traveler's notebook. And I like the compact style of it as well. I've got quite a few different videos actually of creating in here, so I'll link those up below as well. So traveler's notebook was number 12. And now I'm on to number 13, and that's journaling. I like to keep a journal when I'm away and just record again all the silly little things, what we've been up to, and I always record them in a notebook. Aid one year actually had a notebook made for me with a photo from our previous trip, and the whole time I'm away, I will document. I do it by the pool, I do it on the plane, just before we go to bed. I'm generally wake up earlier in the morning than everyone else. When we're in the car, every little moment I can, I will scribble away. I try not to do it during the family time, as that's obviously our time and we're there to make memories, not necessarily be writing them down all the time, so I'm very, very aware of that. But if you can jot down a few things, I really recommend it. I have recorded some of the funniest things the kids have said and done, and had I not written them down in my books, I wouldn't have remembered them, so I'm really pleased about that. This year I'm going to try something different. I've actually bought a traveler's notebook with plain notebooks inside, and I'm thinking of decorating them and actually recording my memories in the decorated notebooks. So it's something a little bit different. It's got an arty spin on it, which I really like, and so I'm thinking about doing that. So if you'd like to see me do that on video, leave a message or give me a thumbs up so I know. And I'm actually thinking about decorating all the pages in here before we head off. We're almost at the end. The next one, number 13, links nicely up with the journals. It's keeping a trip report. This is something that I hold really close to my heart. I found this website called The Dib. We were planning for our 2012 trip. I don't know how I found it. It was accidental. And it's a planning site for people, not just Florida, but for the States, and there's other sections as well for holiday planning. And it's absolutely brilliant. I have learned so much from this place, and I've also made some of the best friends as well. Dibbers are amazing people, really kind and so helpful. So I feel really, really grateful to the Dib. And on there is a large section where you can upload your trip reports. I'm going to show you. If you follow me on social media, you'll probably have seen me mention my trip reports before and linking up. So I will leave the links to my social media, that's Instagram and Facebook, so you can see. But these are my trip reports. The hours that have gone into these is crazy. So I started in 2012, and each time I write up my notes and add my photographs, and then they end up looking like this, and everybody else can read them. I love reading other people's trip reports. and you add your photos. You can be as informative as you wish. I do like to include tips and restaurant reviews and all that kind of thing. If you find a shortcut, it's always nice to mention it. It's just a really good way of sharing your holiday, your tips and ideas, recommendations, do's and don'ts, likes and dislikes for other people to read and learn from, because that's where I've done most of my learning, and I'm so grateful for other people that have shared their experience, because to be honest, I owe a lot of our great planning and things that we've done to this site. So I really recommend it. My kids absolutely love reading back on our old reports. So I will leave the link up to the Dib. If you are planning a trip, I highly recommend you go and take a look. And that leaves me now with number 14, the last one, and that's vlogging. We vlogged for the first time on our trip last year. I had planned to do it the previous time, but I couldn't build up the courage to do it. I felt really self-conscious. I videoed, but it just didn't feel right. So last year I practiced vlogging. That's video recording, kind of like blogging, but with video, in case you hadn't heard of that term before. I practiced before we went, so when we did go to Disney, it didn't feel completely alien to me. The kids weren't so sure about it, so I was very respectful and I held back a lot. I didn't record every day and I didn't record everything that we did. I just caught bits and pieces, and I always let them know when I was recording, but I also knew that they felt a bit uncomfortable with the camera being on them. But this year, I think it's going to be a little bit different. They've got used to the camera and they also really love watching our videos, and when I've just got one up, they want to see it and we all watch it together and we laugh. And so this year I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they're a lot happier with me filming. I really hope so, because I love editing the videos and I love just watching back at what we've done. My only regret is that I didn't do it years ago. I am thinking about going back. I have got videos right from our first trip and actually like putting together a little collage, and so obviously not particularly informative, but more for us to be able to look back on. We've just got these videos all kind of dotted around, and I would really like to have them all in one place. So I am actually thinking about doing that. So I might do that actually when I've finished this trip. This trip's nearly up now that I'm vlogging, that I'm editing. So I may go back and do that before we go if I've got the time. It would be really nice. But if you're thinking about it, I highly recommend that you do it. It's one of the best things to record a trip that I've ever done. I love my scrapbooks. I love all my journaling. I love my trip reports. But I am super happy with the vlogging. Like I said, it's the best thing for trip recording ever, and I highly recommend you give it a go. I really hope you found this video useful. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. I think it's so important to record memories and just keep them. It's so lovely to look back on and for your kids to look back on. Like I said, we saved so hard for these trips that you want to remember them. And I hope that I've given you some ideas how you can remember yours. If you have any questions, please do ask. I know lots of you have asked about the savings video. I did ask a while back if anyone would be interested, and I've had a huge positive response that you would like a savings video. So I'm in the middle of putting that together right now, so that should be up really soon. So thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe so you don't miss my future Florida videos and memory keeping and all that kind of thing. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.